All right, so this next unit is all about loans, different types of loans, how the interest is calculated, how your payments are calculated, how much you actually wind up paying on a loan. So there's going to be a lot of little nuanced things that we do here. But the first part of this is what's called a single payment loan. That means, you go to a bank or some lender and you borrow a certain dollar amount for whatever reason. And at the end of a window of time, you pay back all of it all at once. So this isn't the type of loan where you make monthly payments. This is a single payment loan, one payment. So a couple of vocab terms here. I think I kind of covered the first part there. You make one payment at the end of 90 days or 120 days or whatever the specified period of time is. Some businesses do this if they are short for whatever reason. Maybe business hasn't been as well during, like this pandemic business. The restaurants may be doing this right now, trying to cover payroll and get supplies to kind of keep themselves afloat. What happens is that business goes to whatever financial institution and they sign what is called a promissory note. And that is not a typo. It's promissory. That's basically the contract saying that you agree to pay back so much money after a certain window of time. And the term, this is going to be kind of the tricky part today. The term is the amount of time for which the loan is granted. So it might be 45 days, 90 days, 6 months. It just kind of depends on the problem. All of ours are going to be for a period of days. Okay, which kind of gets into the next part of this. That's going to be, you just really kind of have to pay attention to what's going on here in this formula when we get to it. So what we are going to do today is to calculate how much interest we are going to owe on this loan. Now, the issue with that is when you talk about financial terms, you hear, and I know you guys have seen this in TV commercials and stuff, APR, annual percentage rate. Whether it's a car loan, a house loan, any type of borrowing, you're going to hear APR, annual percentage rate. So when they list like the APR is 18%, that is for an entire year. So the APR that we're going to be looking at in these single payment loans is for an entire year. So what we'll have to do is adjust that for our time period. Okay. So, if we have a time period of 45 days, we're only paying 45 days worth of interest, not 365 days worth of interest. So that's where the last part of this formula is going to come in. We're going to take our time, our term, and divide it by 365. So I think probably other than that, this is pretty straightforward. We've got, our dollar amount. We've done that a whole bunch. We've got our interest rate. Just the last part of this, just see if we can't pick it up pretty quickly here. All right, so Anita borrowed a single payment loan for $7,200 for 91 days to pay for new merchandise for her candle shop. Determine the exact interest if the rate of the loan is 6%. So she borrowed $7,200. That is the principal. The rate is 6%, so 0.06. And the time. Now, normally you would just multiply it by however many months the loan was for, but because of the APR issue, we're going to have to do this for 91 days out of 365. Now, if you have a calculator that does fractions, don't worry about trying to put this in as a fraction. That is basically division. So when I evaluate this, 7,200 times 0.06 times 91 divided by 365. Oh, I hit a wrong button there. That was way too much money. The interest on this, the interest that you're going to pay, or that she's going to pay, is $107.70. Okay, and that's it. You just calculate the interest, you're done. Okay, Parker bought a new surfboard for $600. I don't know if that's cheap or not. He financed it at 9% interest for 60 days. Compute the interest. So his loan amount times his interest rate for 60 days. So 60 days out of the entire year of 365 days. Okay, so that is the fraction of the interest that he's actually paying. So 600 times 9%, 60 days out of 365. $8.88. Okay, if you neglect this part out here, you're paying way too much in interest. That adjusts it for the fact that your loan is only for a small window of time, not a full year.